Welcome to the first Champions of Tabletop battle report of Freeblades. I got Jeff here. We're going to play a game of 150 gold value Freeblades, and we'll do a little commentary over the game to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of Freeblades before, don't know how to play, or you get interested in it, please check out the playlist we have available. That is a learn to play series. We'll step you through every little bit of each phase and how to play, and then come back to this video, give us the second view, and then enjoy it. Enjoy the battle report.
Yeah, and this is kind of the culmination of those learn to play videos. We're kind of putting it all together and showing you some of the cool stuff that can happen in a game of Freeblades.
And as always, feel free to drop a like, a comment, hit subscribe to catch our content when it comes out. And if you want to get a game of Freeblades in, and you're in the Southwest Michigan area, feel free to drop by Voss Media. Every other Monday we play. And if you're not in the Southwest Michigan area, hit up the DGS Games Freeblades Discord. And
World of Phalon is the Discord there. And just type in, hey, I'm looking for a game. I need to learn how to play. Either in the looking for a game or the TTS channel. And someone will ping you and get you a game.
Yeah, we've got people all over USA right now.
Yep.
And we're going to cut now to the explanation of what free bands both Jeff and I brought, kind of what we're expecting to do with them, and then after that we'll get into the game.
And you're gonna watch Brandon cry as I crush him.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. Spoiler alert.
For my free band today, I brought a Keshark as my leader, mounted on his battle dino. I got a Packmaster providing some discipline to 2 Vezerin. I got a caster in my Sunbringer, and 1 follower, the Legionnaire, who I'm hoping to have him pop some other followers today.
Hey, I'm Jeff, and today I brought the Falkaaran Adventures. I got a sailor, the guy with the rope there. Brought him because he's in the starter box. This is a starter box, but also I really like him because he has the thrown attack and he can pull. We'll see if we can't do some of that today. And then I got a pikeman who's a really good, generally defensive character. Knight Defender, who's another extremely good hero at defending. Knight Defender, obviously, it's very stout. My leader is a Jendal Blade Seeker, and he's an expert swordsman, really a fantastic model to bring. A Caradal Blade Sister, who again is a fantastic swordswoman. She fights with a longsword two-handed, which is really awesome. And then for my caster, I brought the Fire Wizard, who burninates the countryside. We'll see if we can't burninate some dinos today. Cool.
So now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the game. We just hit deployment. Jeff, how did you deploy your guys?
Yeah, I put my Knight Defender, my Jendal Blade Seeker out front. I kind of wanted them to have some ability to defend the weaker characters that are behind them. I got my 2 followers back there. And then the Blade Sister, she can kind of do her own thing, which I think is really helpful. So that's how I deployed.
And I had a strong right flank with the Vezerin and the Packmaster both having infiltrate, kind of pushing that forward, and they'll get up into the woods as you see off the infiltrate move before the game starts. I'm kind of hoping to push the battle line in Jeff's side of the table, away from that center objective. And talking about that center objective, what scenario were we playing, Jeff?
Yeah, well, one note, it's kind of a risky move him doing this because that's difficult ground, so it slows those Vezerin down quite a bit. They can't run through it because it's difficult ground for them.
Yeah, so they're normally movement 8, which is very fast.
Mhm.
But if I could run them, they'll get 16 inches up the board. But
Yeah.
due to them being in the forest, they won't get that movement.
Yeah, well, so we're playing Skirmish, which has a central objective. So to win the game, you either need to break your opponent or have 1 model within 6 inches, or 1 model in base contact of the objective with no enemy within 3 inches of the objective for 2 consecutive turns. If the game ends in a draw, you see who has the most models within 3 inches of the objective, and they end up winning the game.
So that center objective is very important.
Yeah, it's the whole point of the game. So I think we're in the magic phase here, and my fire wizard is putting flame skin. You'll see that's a favorite spell of mine on my uh, Knight Defender, and so I got it off and got flame skin on him. I think I'm trying to fish around for a token.
And I'm debating here on my spell. We're definitely too far away to counterspell attempt either one of us, but I was debating between a couple options or not casting at all to conserve power. But the Crusade spell that I can cast on my leader allows him to move during the movement phase like normal, and then anybody I want that can see him can move 3 inches freely towards him before they move.
Yeah, it's directly towards him, so it's a little bit restrictive, but it's really nice because it gives you that extra push, and your leader is really fast. It gives you battle cry. So it's a really nice spell.
Yeah.
Most Traazarite players cast it on turn 1.
With the Legionnaire and the caster only being able to really maneuver, or the Legionnaire's movement being slower at 5, having that little extra 3 inch push at the beginning really does help. And then
All right, that's you
there,
casting a spell
we
there.
got the Crusade off, and we're gonna move into the movement. So what are you thinking, Jeff, as we're going into your movement phase?
Well, I'm going to move the Knight Defender up to kind of mess with your Vezir in there. I'm hoping that he'll be able to pretty quickly take out those Vezir. I put Flame Skin on him because that if you move into contact, you have to make an Agility test 5, and if you fail that, you're going to take a D6 damage. And so I'm hoping your Vezerin, who are a little bit weaker, or they're susceptible to that kind of a thing, are going to take some damage there. Jindal moves up to contest the objective. He's currently within 3 inches. Caradel Blade Sister is going to make a delay test, which she passes. And so you'll see the delay token go down there.
Are you worried with that delay that I'm gonna just straight out charge you from somewhere, or what's the?
Yeah, the delay. I wanted to see what your moves were. She's an effective warrior, and so I wanted to see what your moves were, and then maybe I can counter. Maybe you misplay, you put your caster vulnerable, and I can charge him. I just wanted to leave my options open, really.
Okay.
There's me catching up with my Flameskin token reminder. Bring my Fire Wizard right up to be an effective caster. He's a kind of a close range caster in some regard. And then I left my pikeman back there a little bit, hoping he could get a charge. Now I mismeasured slightly on that. He was about a 1/8 inch out of getting a charge off next turn. We'll see how that all works out. But yeah, ended up working out. That's what I was planning on doing there, is helping him get a charge.
So this is that Crusade battle cry movement where my leader moved up first, and then I chose to move just the Legionnaire and the caster 3 inches directly towards him, and then now I'm moving the Legionnaire for his move.
You can pre-measure as much as you want in this game. So Brandon's just pre-measuring to see where the lines are and all that.
Yeah, and the Legionnaire does have a thrown weapon, so I was very short range. It's 3, 6, 9 inches, 9 inch long range, and I want to line up that potential throw into his leader. I am also trying a cheeky move through the forest. I know that my Vezerin have a speed advantage on that flank.
Yeah, I'm only speed 5, and your Vezerin are speed what?
Speed 8.
Yeah.
So even though I can't run, I can get less than 8 inches, but more than 5 inches away in the forest from that Knight Defender, and I'm threatening a charge off without receiving a charge back because the Knight Defender can't run or sprint.
And I'm a lot slower actually, and so with prorated movement there, you're at 6 inches is where you put your Vezerin, so I can't reach you, but you can charge me, which is really helpful. And you can charge through difficult terrain, but you just move up to your speed.
Yeah.
You just can't sprint through it.
So with this culmination of movements, it looks like we're going to move on to the. Oh, you got your delay.
I got my delayed model. Now I think what I should have done here is just charge your Legionnaire straight out.
Yeah.
I see that was clearly I had the charge range there, and that would have helped push the combat back your way. And maybe I would have killed the Legionnaire right off the bat.
Yeah.
Which would have been cool. But I didn't. I just moved up so I could. I was thinking I could support the Jindal Blade Seeker or the Fire Wizard or the Knight Defender. She was in a good position to support. Okay, so now we're going into the shooting phase here. My sailor is going to shoot at his legionnaire. I also have a thrown weapon, but I had to run to get to my position. And we see that I'm at 6 inches, which is my maximum range. So I'm -3 to the shot, and your defense what? 6. So I need a 9 to hit.
Yeah, and you're rolling a D6.
D6. So it's super clutch.
But you end up getting it with a 6 spiked up into a
9.
9. Exactly. Yeah.
What I should have done is put flaming weapon on the sailor's grappling hook, and then we'll roll a D8 against your legionnaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good.
But worked out for me though. The legionnaire also has pretty decent armor for a follower.
5.
So with the hit on the sailor from the sailor, you pull me closer to you, but you don't wound me.
Yeah, well, and it was just outside of that 3-inch mark there. Here's the wound roll, and I get a 3.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Needing a 5.
Yeah, I need a 5.
Armor on the.
So we do our opposed test. You roll a 1, I roll a 5 there.
Yep.
Of course. And then so you move 1 inch closer. It's a D4. Now, if I had rolled 4, I would have dragged you right into, as it turns out, I might have dragged you right into the Jindal Blade Seeker.
Yeah, yeah.
Which would have been really cool, because now I'm fighting you in melee there.
And you can munch him. And he's pulled out of my kind of battle line.
Yep.
That ruin wall there really was throwing me. I wanted to, in my main objective and thought is to try and push the fight past the objective marker and kind of use the speed of my leader.
I feel like you managed to do that as we look at this. Oh, look at that, 7 to hit.
Yeah, so I'm throwing the throwing
Ghidorah.
Yeah, Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Into the leader, but I do not. He ends up missile parrying.
Yeah, he's one of the few characters in the game with missile parry, so he can roll his Mar to block a non-magical ranged attack like the Ghidorah.
Yeah, so I get the 7 to hit, but he ends up parrying the spear out of the air. Don't ask me how. It's a giant shield bashing spear.
I know, isn't it great? It's so good. So then we roll discipline. We're on to round 2 now.
Yep.
So I see these Vezrin coming, and I think I'm considering putting flame skin on my guy there, my Knight Defender. However, I think in a second you'll see what I actually do. Whoosh.
Yeah.
I put down a flame template. I'm gonna do Cone of Fire. Now there's an interesting interaction that's happening here, where that wall it's a high wall at some points and it's a low wall at other points. And so right now I'm explaining the high wall is actually blocking the cone from hitting the Packmaster.
Yep. So only the 2 Vezrin are currently.
So covered. I need line of effect there. So you can't like cone through a wall, a solid wall or something like that.
And right here, I'm trying to figure out, I have a 10-inch counterspell range, and I need to get 10 inches to somewhere that I can see is part of the spell. And I can't see the Packmaster, but I can see through that doorway. So I do attempt to counterspell.
But that's a 0. I spike it into a 13 or something like that. It's critical.
Yeah.
And the critical casting there refunds 1 power.
Yep.
Which is really cool. So you fail that counterspell. I think you got a 3 or something.
Yeah, I was not able to counterspell that. It does go off.
And what's kind of interesting is the reason he can't see the Packmaster is because woods are obscuring terrain. So you can only see 6 inches into or out of, and you may not see through obscuring terrain.
Yeah. So these are my 2 agility tests on the 2 Vezrin.
5 and
a 5 and a 10. That's on a D6, spiking one of them and passing the other. And for reference, I only had a 33% chance of passing at all in general.
He needed a 5.
I needed a 5 on a D6, and both of them pass. Ignoring the giant fire blast from the fire wizard into the forest.
They hid behind the trees very well.
Which could have turned this game. If you stopped,
it really could have.
If you stopped that flank there with blowing those 2 dinosaurs out of the water, I don't know if I would have gotten the same results.
Did you do battle him here?
No,
I think you did. You didn't cast a spell.
I failed the cast on your Blade Singer, the -2.
Oh, that's right. That was this turn. Yeah, you tried to sunburn me this turn. Yeah. That's interesting. And you successfully cast, but I counterspelled it.
Yeah, I just know it didn't go off.
Yeah, because I counterspelled, and I was able to counterspell because I was within 10 inches and line of sight of the Caradel Blade Sister, which was your target.
Yeah.
So I can't see the wizard there because I have other models. The Sunbringer, I can't see him because there are other models in the way, but I can see the target.
Yeah.
And much like you could see the cone, so we're able to try and counterspell the effect of the cone that was there.
Yeah, we're just
we're seeing if you can see her, and we decide yes, you can. Yeah.
So the parallax from the camera is a little throwing you off, but I don't think that line of sight was through the woods.
No. It was along the edge of the woods.
Yeah.
And so that's why you could see line of sight. Otherwise, she'd be quid.
And then so it didn't end up going off. I was just worried that when you moving first, that Legionnaire was gonna get popped.
Yeah, but I did some really. I caught you off guard here.
Yeah, I was thinking he was gonna get real aggressive.
I just checked to see if I was within 3 inches of the objective, and I was, which is so I'm contesting. Thank you. Yeah, I'm contesting the objective there, which is great. So I choose not to move at all.
Which, yeah, it was not what I expected at all. Was not expecting no movement. So a little thrown by this. I stick to my guns. I'm gonna try to form the battle line where I want the battle line to be, and I'm gonna move this Legionnaire within 4 inches of the leader, which will allow him to move if he wants into combat, kind of baiting the fact that my leader on the Dino hasn't moved yet and would get to charge into combat.
Yeah, you were trying to draw me in, and I didn't take the bait.
And he didn't take the bait. But not within 4 inches of the Blade Sister.
And that's called an intervene move, which is what I was trying to do
there. Yeah. I mean, Jeff's a good player. Everyone makes mistakes though. So I was just trying to catch him in a mistake to come in there and then run my Dino onto him. But he didn't end up taking it. It still gives me a throw this turn, which is still fine.
Yeah.
And then my Vezarin, the first one maneuvers out of the forest.
This one charges. He's within 6, so he charges.
The first one charges out, and you decide to hold?
I hold. And the reason I'm holding is because I feel like the Knight Defender is going to get multiple characters on him this turn. And I have the pikeman that's going to pile on. So the pikeman intercepts or intervenes and gets into that combat right there with the Vezarin. So now I have an advantage combat for me. And if the Knight Defender gets piled on, which we'll see he does, he has a ability called Fortress, a talent called Fortress. I don't take I can't be piled on.
But my question, what threw me off a little bit, if you countercharge there, you're not piled on the first round of combat anyway.
I wouldn't get the charge bonus.
Oh, then yeah,
you're faster than me.
Yeah, okay.
So with prorated movement, you would get a charge. I wouldn't. You pile on. So it wasn't.
Yeah, that's why
I'm not going to take the pile on bonus. So we see the other Vezarin come out here and pile on the Knight Defender.
He maneuvers in. Yep.
And the reason for that is because he initially charged my caster, and I evaded. And so that's what the D4 is there. So my caster's off screen now because I evaded, and so he's back behind the lines. And so the Vezarin was able to make a discipline test to redirect his charge, or his maneuver rather. He was doing a maneuver into the other character there, the Knight Defender. And then your Packmaster went over and pulled my pikeman off.
I'm hoping to just, assassinate a pikeman real quick with a hero and then get into that combat.
I don't know, man. They're defense 5, AV 5. We'll see how that goes for you.
Yeah, well, I might know how it goes already. That's this may be filmed after.
Well, this commentary on a game, it'd be weird if we were commentating on a game that was like actively going, our game that's actively going on. What time shenanigans is that?
We cloned ourselves. We got the leader now. I don't want to necessarily push that combat and like squeeze over a wall. So I will maneuver in here into the leader.
Yep.
I can't charge because that'll that'll put me over the wall, which we'll see later what that means. But
Yep. Actually, I think your leader doesn't he charge because it wouldn't put him over the wall. I think he was I think he was quid there. We'll see if he gets a charge token or not. I really can't remember. So I think I'm being cheeky here because my character has counterattack where I get to go first if you charge me. That's why I think you did charge. But I have counterattack, so I get to go first. And we find out and we realize because I had forgotten that you have leap attack, which cancels counterattack.
Yeah, so there's
a really interesting interplay.
Yeah, the raptor does give me the ability to jump, essentially, and not deal with his counterattacking shenanigans.
So I intercepted or intervened with my Caradol Blade Sister to get into that combat, and you moved your caster over, but you said this was a misstep.
Yeah, I moved so I couldn't do the battle him anyway. So I might as well have moved onto the objective so that when I was battle hemming in future turns, I at least threaten the holding of the objective. And if something miraculously happens in that combat with the Keshark leader and I win that combat causing the other two to flee, then I would be holding the objective. But right now, as it stands, I'm not on the objective, so
yeah,
it wouldn't happen.
Just a slight misplay there. And then we split combats. We rolled our ranged attacks. Both of us missed, and we split our combats. The pikeman and the Packmaster split just slightly into their combats there. And you see us kind of monkeying around with these models a little bit. You're supposed to move them just the minimum amount possible, so you don't get any advantage or anything like that. You just kind of move them. So Brandon had moved them a bit too far. I'd moved them about an inch, and I moved them back so they were only about an eighth of an inch away from the main combat.
Yeah, just broke off. Correcting my rookie mistakes.
Yeah, you're right. You're welcome. And because what we do in Freeblades is in the combat phases, you have one model on a number of models.
Yeah.
So why did you choose to? So you had the option to put the Vezarin in the pikeman or the Vezarin in the other guy, and my pikeman just died.
Yeah.
Why'd you put the Vezarin into the Knight Defender?
So the Vezarin have pack attack. Mm-hmm. So if both of them are on the same person, they go from a D6 to hit to a D8 to hit.
Nice.
Which is a little better. You're high defense. I think the defensive play was to move the Vezarin with the Packmaster and then let you eat one of the Vezarin. But, I'd never do anything defensively. I'm full haymakers all the time. That's so true. Just running just straight up, arms flailing. So both Vezarin there rolling their D8s. No pylon because of Fortress.
Oh, you spiked that. That's right.
But I think this is end up where I get the one wound on you.
Yeah, you do. Well, no, you spiked the attack roll, and I parried out of the attack.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Right? No, the one wound comes next turn. There's the damage roll 3. I'm AV6, so there's no damage dealt there. So then my Knight Defender gets to go, and I'm going to target the Vezarin. Normally, you have to follow Hero's Honor, but you're not there yet. He repositioned in. When you reposition in, there's no effect on that combat. I hit solidly, but then I roll my damage, and that you can't see it, but it's a 1.
Yeah,
it felt so bad. I needed a 3.
So both Vezarin survive, which is not something I expected. This is huge for me in that the flank isn't necessarily crumbling, but it's way more solid than I initially thought it would be.
It's crumbling.
Well, I mean, Defender, he's so good at just holding a spot.
Yes, he is. So then we fight here. Yeah. You get to go first because of the counterattack thing. You attack the Blade Sister. You roll a 1 and a 3.
Yeah. A 1 on my main guy's attack and a 3 on the bite from the dino.
And I decide to parry the 1. No, you hit me with 1. I parried it, and I decided to parry the Tarch also to try and get a riposte. And I debated this in the game, not doing that, because I was worried that you would parry one of my attacks and get a riposte back.
I think this is the next turn.
Is it the next turn?
Because it's the same turn that I move the Legionnaire into your Sailor. Is the turn that we do that parry riposte thing.
No, right there, 3 and a 1. Those are your attack rolls. So you missed with the 1. I did try to parry. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You just parried the 1 here.
And then my Jindal Blade Seeker. He hits. You choose to parry this attack.
I
No, it's an
don't.
11. You
Yeah,
don't
I don't
parry
parry the
attack.
11.
And I do a life point to
You
you.
do a life point on this one. So the leader, his Jendal Blade Seeker ends up giving me a life point. Not good because whenever you have to test to lose combat, it's always a scary time. But he's D12, so he'll probably
Yeah,
hold.
but your decision to not do that kind of makes sense because the Caradol Blade Sister has accurate strike. So if I hit hard enough, I treat your armor as 3 instead of 5.
Yeah. And my armor's really what's gonna try to hold me. At
Yep.
armor 5.
As it turns out, I did not hit hard enough to trigger that, and then I believe you come through and parry the attack.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's next round that goofy thing happens.
So save the parry, and it paid off. And we're moving into a new round.
Yep. And you do a discipline test and pass it.
Yes.
Man, if you had failed that there, that would have been huge.
So going into this round, what are you thinking about for the game so far?
I'm thinking, man, this is not going my way.
Really?
Yeah, because I've done a wound to the Kashark, but I have failed to take out that Legionnaire. I failed to take out the Vezerin. And so there's just a lot going on that that's not going my way, right?
Yeah. You're just like one fire spell with that wizard away from just cooking most of the dudes.
We'll see how that goes, right?
Yeah.
Now, my wizard has his back to the combats that are going on right now. My fire wizard does. So I need to sort out I need to navigate how that's going to go down, right?
Yeah.
I need to get him back in so I can start putting the hurt on because I really do need to get some damage going with him because he's a damaging monster. But okay, so we're gonna do the magic phase here. We're kind of cleaning up.
I think you won, right?
Initiative?
Party?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's our roll. I got 9. You got something not a 9.
Yeah.
And so we do the magic phase, and what I do here is I cast Flame Skin on my Knight Defender because that's going to cause agility tests on all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to burn off the Vezerin and maybe do a wound to the Packmaster, or at least eat up his diehard. That would be great.
And a part of what makes this such a good move too is that my caster cannot see that combat. He's fully behind the part of the wall that's a little bit taller.
Yep.
So I cannot even attempt to counterspell.
But I torch the roll.
Yeah, that one was huge.
It's massive.
So I have an entire turn now of 3-on-1 for that defender, and I am just seeing blood. I see full red in that combat. I really need that to go well for me, and this is about as good as it could go for that flank.
That was huge. Now you've chosen to not cast.
Yes.
Because you're going to do battle him, and you're moving your caster, but we realize pretty quickly, you'll see him move right back, that you have to be on hold to do a battle him.
Yeah. So the battle him with the Sun Bringer,
it's so good.
Is really good. It's a 9-inch aura of +1 dice level discipline, which will make all my guys attack 1 die level discipline better, which is just great.
Yeah, so the Packmaster is going before my Knight Defender. Your Kashark is going before my Jendal Blade Seeker. Your Legionnaire is
chilling.
dope.
Yeah, he's not in a combat. He could. I was debating going into a combat with him and trying to pull off the Blade Seeker.
I thought you were going to pull off either the Blade Seeker or the Blade Sister.
I don't think I win that combat, though. I think maybe I survive a turn or two, but I don't think I win that. And I don't think the Keshark wins 1v1 against your leader reliably.
Yeah, I think the Blade Seeker is way better against the Kashark than the Kashark. So what you end up doing here, though, is you maneuver your Legionnaire into my Sailor, but your Legionnaire's model can't fit in engagement there, right?
Yeah, there's like a little cutout window that's kind of hard to see in this this video, but I squeeze in there and I'm vulnerable, right?
Yeah, because the model can't sit where you want it to be. You can still be there. You just count as vulnerable. Vulnerable is -1 to your defense and -1 to all tests.
Yeah. So I'll be -1 to the throw on the thrown weapon and -1 to the hit in the melee, but I still get 2 tries to try and
take out the sailor.
Yeah, and the sailor also gets 2 tries
Yeah.
because he also has a thrown weapon. But the legionnaire is 21 gold and the sailor is 8.
Yeah.
So we know which one has the advantage there, and it ain't me.
Yeah. It's, I'm also trying to just get model advantage. Now that things are starting to go right, the snowball could help if I just get more bodies on the field. And getting the sailor off will help me there.
Yep. And we see my wizard has rejoined the battle.
Yep, he turned around, he came back after running from one of the
Yep.
dinos.
And I was able to cast that flame skin just going back slightly because line of sight is 360 degrees. So I can see behind me to cast the spell. I have line of sight to do that. But if I wanted to shoot a magic missile or a cone, those fall under the purview of like ranged attacks where they have to be in your front arc.
Yeah, yeah. Which caught me off guard. I did not realize that off the beginning. But yeah, he was able to do the buff spell just right behind him, just right over his shoulder.
Yeah. So here I hit with my ranged attack yet again against your legionnaire. And then I roll a 3 for damage again.
Yeah, needing that 5 armor.
Yeah, but you had thrown and hit and killed me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The legionnaire did get his thrown weapon off and did impale that sailor.
Yep.
So this is looking good for me still. It's not great for you, Jeff.
All my followers are dead, but no, my heroes have taken any life points, and yet yours have.
Yep. Yeah, there's a life point on my leader.
The other thing I think is really interesting here is that this is just a commentary on the game in general, but many players think that healing is a necessary thing, right? But you took damage all throughout this game, and you never cast a heal spell.
No, all gas, no brakes.
Right. Which is really interesting, and I think you were using your Sunbringer in a very effective way.
Yeah, I looked at healing a couple times, but I tried to do the math in my head on what I thought it would take to actually kill the leader model, and if I was down to 1 life point, maybe I throw the heal on him, but if I've got 2 left and I've got a parry.
Yeah. Well, and here your Packmaster, because of the discipline thing, gets to fight me first. I just knock your Packmaster in the face with my die. And he wounds me.
Yeah, he gets the wound off, which is nice.
Wound off. I failed the parry.
That +2 damage on the trident is
so good.
Oh, good. Yeah.
On charge +3. He's amazing. Now I hit you back and deal a life point to you as well.
Yep, I fail my die hard.
Yeah. But now I have to weather these 2 Vezeren. I have 1 life point left.
A D8 each.
Yep, D8s to hit. I think
1 hit, 1 failed.
1 failed. Because I have Fortress, I'm not piled on.
Yep, so your defense is still high.
Yep, it's really good. And then AV6, and I think you rolled a 3 for damage or something.
Yeah, it's still D6 damage on him.
Yep. Defense 4, AV4 on a follower is really good. We discount AV4 pretty often, but Vezeren are actually really good. Now, if you run like, a ton of them in a game, you're weakening yourself quite a bit. But like 3 in a game, it's not bad. 3, 4.
Yeah, because you're rolling D10s to hit.
Yep, and the Packmaster that rolls with them is quite a powerful hero. Now he's kind of like a pseudo protector with them. So right here, you've tarched one of your attacks with the with the Kashark, and I've parried 1, and then decided to parry the Tarch, hoping to get a riposte off.
Yep.
That I don't do that. That doesn't work for me.
You whiff that, but now you've eaten both of your parries so far. Excuse me.
And I was like, what's the chance that he's gonna riposte my actual attack? It's pretty low odds.
Yep. And I only got 1 parry, so I gotta make this count.
Yep. Jendal Bladeseeker rolls a 2 or something to hit, so he misses.
Yep.
There's his attack, and it is a 2. Yep. And then, so now Caradol Blade Sister is going to go. She gets a 5 to hit. Yep. All right. Seems good.
Yep. And I get my parry attempt, and I get a 12 into a 5. So it's a 17 on the parry.
Which is a critical parry.
Which allows me to a free attack back. So I'll get to not only parry her attack out the way, but then put down some hurt my own with that Sakazet and put a wound on her.
Yep, which causes me to lose the combat.
Yeah.
Now I'm making discipline tests. It's not a good situation for the Falkaarans. I don't know if it would have changed a whole lot. You rolled a 5 to hit me, I think, so it was a parryable. Like it was in the range of parry,
It wasn't out of the realm of possibility.
So I should have held on to my parry there. That was a huge mistake doing that. So now you're going first this turn.
Yeah. Um, Magic for me, I want this battle hymn,
It's
but
so good. You get +1 die level discipline to everybody. It's amazing. And if
yeah,
you lose combat, you get to use your leader's D14.
yeah, and that's what that marker you see on the with the Sunbringer is the
Battle him.
battle hymn marker that I was using. But that being said, I can't counterspell and have the battle hymn go up.
So what you've done is you've just elected to not cast to see how things shake out.
Yeah,
If you have to counterspell, then you can move into the objective.
and but as Jeff points out, kind of during the game, my counterspell even options are very limited. I can't see the caster through the combat. I can't see the other combat because of the wall, as I point out right there.
Yep.
So I can't really counterspell anything except for buffs that come at the Blade Sister, or maybe a damaging spell if I can see the cone through a window or if I get hit by it. So
yeah, so right here I'm putting flame skin. It was a good move on your part to not worry about that, because I put flame skin on the Knight Defender there, and you're rolling your agility test right now, and then I'll be rolling some damage because I think both of the Vezarin fail, and then your Packmaster
succeeds.
passes.
Yeah.
I was really hoping he would fail. His is a 50-50. It's a TN5. He's rolling a D8, so he gets a 50-50 on that.
Yeah, but the Veteran are rolling D6s and they need 5s. And I've been super lucky up until this point with it, but then I do fail both of them this turn. One's a 3, and I think the other one was a 4.
Yeah, I think so. I had even go in and check the TN of the spell. And then there's the Packmaster's 7, so he passed. And then I rolled damage. Now that AV4 saved your butt here.
Yeah, it did. It saved one of the two.
Yep.
Veteran.
But that was a really good spell from the Fire Wizard that turn. I'm rolling damage for the Vezarin, and the 1 dies. So that was a I think a pretty good spell. The Vezarin's like, give me your hammer. But man, those fire magic spells should have been doing a little more work for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just dice. I think you made good choices on when to put them and where to put them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not debating. I'm happy with my spell choices.
Yeah.
Well, the Tarch the turn prior.
That
So
was
right
fun.
here we're debating: is this a flame spell? Does he get a flame token? And the answer was no, he doesn't. So I just remove it.
Now, um, that flank is like I don't know if that Packmaster can take the combat by himself.
I think he can, because if he hits, he has a pretty good chance of doing damage. And parry, I think Diehard is very slightly more reliable than parry, because it's a set TN. And if you roll really hot, which you were doing, I had to parry out of a few criticals. Yeah. That's actually how I took my wound there, is I parried out of a critical hit.
Yeah.
Right? Or no, I didn't. The turn prior, I parried out of a critical. So I had when I roll a parry, you got a critical hit of a 16. I roll my parry, and I got a 7 that prevents the critical hit, but it doesn't prevent the actual hit.
Yeah. And then here I'm debating what I'm going to do with this Legionnaire. And I think he's going to maneuver through that like window and come after the caster.
Yeah, and it's a low wall where he's maneuvering through, so he can move up to his speed. I tried to evade again and torch it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, well, I guess I'm here now.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out for me.
And
you battle him again.
So no movement.
Well, and it's huge on this turn because now the Kashark goes first, the Packmaster goes first, and the Legionnaire goes before my caster.
Yeah. It does. It's really good for the Legionnaire, especially.
I don't see Battle Hymn get used that much, but it is an amazing ability that the Sunbringer has, and the Cantor in Haradel also has that talent.
Yeah. It's like a free spell. They can't be dispelled.
It's so good.
Or counterspelled.
Yeah, it's so good.
It does have some workarounds where you have to protect him. If he gets in combat, he can't do it. If he moves, he can't do it. So you got to get to a spot, form your battle line, get behind your battle line, and then start supporting it. But in this instance, I think it happened pretty.
Yeah, you did great. I was thinking that last turn, I was hoping to just take the Shark out because he doesn't have a ton of defenses last turn. But maybe I should have broke off with the Caradel Blade Sister the turn prior. And that would have given me options to tie up the Legionnaire, which actually would have been really important, or go into your caster.
Yeah, and then you probably would have, not to get too much into the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but then my casters, open in the backfield just running from somebody instead of standing still doing the buff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? We're talking about battle report. What are the coulda, shoulda, wouldas?
Yeah, we're also supposed to talk about what's actually happening.
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
that's also important too.
Yep. So I think we're doing we did the. I think we did the Velazor Knight combat already.
Yeah, we each put a wound. You put a wound on me. I put a wound on you. And then
the Packmaster up there.
Yeah.
No, you didn't put a wound on me. I only have 2. I think that turn I tried to put a wound on you. You die-hearted it. That's what happened.
There you go.
I did put a wound on you. You die-hearted. I managed to parry his, and there's that. That's my caster attacking the Legionnaire and failing.
And you buffed your defense by 1.
Yep.
Which saved you because I rolled exactly a 4 to hit, but you went up to a 5 because your defense.
Yeah, I used the 2 ended there. That was really good.
That came in clutch twice in this game. Once for you, one for me.
Oh yeah, once for you. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I was like, what battle were you watching?
Twice total, not for you. Yeah, we really limited how many good dice rolls you were able to have.
Yeah. Now right here, I split my attacks with the Jendal Blade Seeker into 2 d6s. So you can take your 12 and roll into 2 d6s. And you elected not to parry because you don't learn from your mistakes.
I don't learn from my mistakes at all.
And so that guy died. Yeah. I wounded with both my attacks. Now I reposition into the Legionnaire there, and I have 3 inches here to reposition into the Sunbringer. And that prevents the Sunbringer then doesn't need to do a panic test for watching the guy die because I reposition into him. He's in combat now.
Yeah. And that was bad for me. That is the center battle line core of my army that just gets yeeted. Yeah, looking back on it, I could have parried one of those 2, but I was probably taking a reliable 3rd attack anyway. I don't know.
Yep. Yep. And then so then we roll initiative again. I win initiative. I elect to cast Flameskin yet again on my Knight Defender. Now I take it -4 for casting while engaged, and that should provoke a reaction attack, but it doesn't because
you have the other Kai in the combat.
So the Legionnaire is a little tied up there. Now I successfully cast. I rolled an 8, and so I successfully get my spell off, which was really good. You roll your agility test. Packmaster passes again. Yeah. Velazor fails.
And this is where the Velazor gets eaten.
And then Velazor gets eaten. So now it's looking a lot better for my Knight Defender.
Yep. Knight Defender goes on to a 1-on-1 combat.
Yep, which is really good. Now we kind of got ahead of ourselves. I debated putting down a cone of fire and just letting the world burn.
Yeah, and then if the cone hits a combat, anyone in the combat, everyone in the combat is hit.
Right.
Everyone in that whole area except for himself would have gotten burned.
Yeah, I have to check on the himself thing. He might get burned as well, although it doesn't really make sense that he would get burnt. So, I don't know what the actual answer is. We'll put in the rules question channel there on Discord. Colin, if you're watching this, what's the answer?
Yeah. Or Colin, if you're watching this, put a comment in the bottom.
Put a comment on
the video. Answer the question there as well, because of engagement and how YouTube works. So
and algorithms.
Yeah, algorithms, and pushing this video out to as many people as possible.
Yeah. So this is the big debate, and I think I should have done the cone of fire.
Yeah.
I think I should have done that because that could have potentially killed your Legionnaire as well.
Yep.
Which would have been huge.
And the Packmaster.
I could have killed the Packmaster, but he has 2 wounds left, and I'm rolling a D8 for damage. So maybe, but probably not. But the Legionnaire being dead would have been a big boon on me, because then if the Legionnaire dies in the magic phase, the Jendal Blade Seeker can go do something else.
Yeah, he can go touch the objective.
He's going to go kill a Packmaster.
Oh, yeah. Then you win by break instead of win by objective.
And my caster is going to go into the up to the objective.
You don't. Okay, so I get that if you're playing just to win, makes sense. But if you're playing in a tournament game, and winning by objective is worth more than winning by break. Do you think that taking your leader into the objective is better? Because if you break me, you only win by break.
No, because caster will do the same thing. My
Oh,
caster
because
going up there because it's most models within 3 inches of the objective. I'm not worried about my Jendal or my Caradal Blade Sister versus your Sun
yeah,
Priest. I'm I'm not worried about
you
that. So
wouldn't
I
be
bring
worried
the
about that fighting
caster
you.
up to get him, and he's going to help me win by objective. Jendal Blade Seeker is going to go kill your Packmaster.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's the goal anyway.
Yeah. My goal is to watch the world burn. So at this point,
I should have done the Cone of Fire.
I am yeah. I also do a spell onto your Blade Sister, which will
I make my attack and torch the attack roll
not
because I get a reaction attack.
before your attack. The spell that if you would have torched it, you would have panicked.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But I get the reaction attack prior to the
Yeah.
spell going off.
Oh yeah.
Your spell does go off. I fail my reaction attack, but then I pass the discipline test. Now, if I had panicked, that would have been really bad because I'm panicking from combat.
That is a Hail Mary attempt for me to.
It is. And actually thinking about it, I think that spell says target unengaged model.
Oh well.
It doesn't really matter.
We all learn.
There's no perfect game. The last perfect game person died 2,000 years ago or whatever. So
yeah. So we're going into a combat here with the Packmaster and the Knight Defender. I think, or is this the Legionnaire?
No, this is a Packmaster Knight Defender. So I did the Packmaster Knight Defender first. So just in case the Knight Defender dies, my caster and Jendal Bladeseeker don't need to make discipline tests.
Yeah.
So I do that combat first. And you hit with a 5. I fail the parry attempt. And then you roll damage and get a 7. And as a matter of fact, he dies.
Yes, he does get taken off, which is good, but he doesn't have 3 inches to get into the other combat. I think if the Legionnaire goes down even by himself, I'm broken. So I'm barely holding on. So 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I have 3, 4, 5 off. So yeah. So if the Legionnaire goes down, I'm broken anyway.
Yeah, and if any of these heroes go down, I break. So we're kind of on a knife's edge, especially that Caradal Blade Sister. So I actually do that. We do that combat next because I want to. I roll a 4 to hit, and you've upped your defense.
I up my defense by 1 with the 2-ended weapon. So I go up to defense 5, making it miss, and then my 1 attack is just
you get a Garbo 3 to hit. I choose not to parry because if I roll 1, your attack turns into a hit.
Yeah.
So I choose not to parry.
And then here's where all the stars align, and then all my good karma comes to save me. I decide to take the 1 D8 attack that the Legionnaire has, and he's going to split his attacks into 2 D4.
First off, I miss with both the Jendal Blade Seeker and the Wizard against you. Your defense 5 because of that large shield, and I miss with both attacks.
Yeah.
Now you should have changed facing in the just to be facing the right way. He's not facing the correct way right now, but that we're not going to let that get in the way of a game. So I miss with all my attacks, and then you split into D4s.
Yep, and I need a 4 to hit, so I've got 25% chance on D4s. I could have kept 1 D6, which gives me a 36% chance.
D8. It would have been a D8. You would have been a 50-50 to hit.
Yeah, 50-50 to hit 1 attack, or 25% on 2 different attacks.
Right, and the reason it's 25, I'm defense 5, but if he spikes at D4, it's going to be a 5 minimum. And the SOB,
I spike both the 4s.
Yeah,
and then I hit twice, and I wound twice, and I one-shot that caster off the board, out of my house, with the Traazarites winning this game by break.
Yep, the Blade Seeker does not break from combat, but for losing combat there, 2 wounds to no wounds, and the Legionnaire is the MV friggin' P of the game.
Yeah, that's anything. We're gonna let the video run, just kind of the cleanup on this, but anything you would have done differently with the game?
Perhaps. I'm not really sure if I would have done anything super different other than have coned that round when I was engaged to try and kill the Legionnaire because that would have been big. And knowing that you had countercharge, I think I should have, or leap attack, I should have countercharged just for positioning purposes.
Yeah.
I still think I would have been able to make it in with the Jindal Blade Seeker, or the Caradel Blade Sister. So into a intervening.
So to summarize, there's I'm 1-0 and I'm retiring the champion. So the 150 gold game of Skirmish.
Yep.
Falkaaran versus Traazarites, and Traazarites came out barely with a win by break.
Yeah, thanks to that clutch Legionnaire.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So yeah, it's a really fun game. And
so if you're still watching at this point, thank you
Thanks,
all, and like, comment, subscribe, play Freeblades. Go to DGS.com. The World of Phalon Discord is open and super active for everybody, getting games in all around the U.S.
Yeah, DGSGames.com, World of Phalon on Discord. It's awesome.
And then if you're in the Southwest Michigan area, Voss Media board games.
Or Mid Michigan for Next Level Espresso, we play there. So
yeah,
in Mid Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan is popping with Freeblades right now.
It really is. So
cool. Thank you. We'll catch you next time.
Peace. See ya.